Video game remasters come in all different shapes and sizes. Some of them are remastered, reloaded, resparked, re-elected, Ultimate Edition, Definitive Edition, War Master, and maybe the most absurd one I've ever heard, remastered. Oh my goodness. Remasters are all the rage these days. And for what it's worth, I totally get it. What's better than going back to a game you love with a fresh coat of paint? I mean, we just got Oblivion. It looks incredible. It feels incredible. It's like a brand new game. There's finally a new way to play the Lunar games. I mean, they've been stuck on old systems for years at this point. And hell, it's 2025 and we're still getting upgraded versions of Doom and Doom 2. It's a great time to be alive, right? It feels like any game that we can possibly dream of is ripe for the remaster treatment. Who knows what we're gonna get next, right? But then you start to get announcements like this.
Were you expecting someone else?
Is that Bubsy? Really? We're doing this? Ugh, come on. Bubsy in the perfect collection. Just excellent. An 8-game compilation which aims to chronicle the franchise's troubled history and enduring popularity. Yeah, that's one way to put it, I guess. I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like we're getting just a little bit carried away with these remasters. Generally, I think they're a great thing for the industry. I love to collect games, game preservation is amazing, and yes, it's very fair that new generations should be able to experience these classic games the way that the developers intended them to be. It's vitally important that we keep games available for years to come. But when I see remasters like the Bubsy collection getting announced, a question or a statement just pops into my head every time. Just because you can remaster something doesn't mean you absolutely need to. So come with me as I dig just a little bit deeper into that statement and take a look at some of the frivolous game remasters I feel like we're getting nowadays and why exactly we're getting them. How's it going, everyone? My name is Evan, and thank you for stopping by the channel. Before I get super deep into things, if you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to keep up with me and more silly game content just like this. I figure if I'm gonna use the Bubsy collection as the poster child for trivial game remasters, I might as well give them a fair shake, right? I mean, maybe these games just get a bad rap. Maybe Bubsy's just been locked in a never-ending time loop of being the internet's favorite obscure punching bag. Well, I played the first game, and I refuse to play anymore. Bubsy came out during a time when every company was trying to capitalize on the mascot platformer craze set off by Sonic. Yeah, you probably know the drill, you might not, that's it. This game just kinda sucks at being a fun platformer. First off, I'm just gonna be super blunt, the momentum in this game is absolutely fucked. Bubsy picks up speed with the slope of the world, so even just the slightest touch of the D-pad is gonna send you barreling down a hill. Like, I was literally tapping the D-pad and he was moving by himself down a hill. What this results in is you picking up speed incredibly fast when you move to the right. And once you're going fast, it's pretty much a death sentence. Every time I tried to pick up speed like I was playing a Sonic game, I would just slam straight into an enemy, which, by the way, you die in one hit for some reason. So imagine being a kid back in the 90s trying to play this and being utterly frustrated that you can't do anything without instantly being sent back to the beginning of the level and hearing some shit like this.
What could possibly go wrong?
It just feels terrible. It feels like you're constantly being pushed to the right. Like if you play it, you'll feel it. It's like there's a constant gust of wind at your back, moving you to the right at all times. If you try and jump to the left, it feels like you're being pulled in the opposite direction. It just feels terrible. Also, everything is just way too big. There's not enough to level on screen, so you end up missing things and taking leaps of faith, which, once again, probably gets you killed. The hit detection is not that good. The camera can't keep up with Bubsy when he picks up speed, and the scrolling backgrounds, I don't know if they attempted parallax scrolling here, but it genuinely made me nauseous. And to top everything off, in their platformer, there's fall damage. The only nice thing I can say about Bubsy is that the music is actually pretty good. And that's only for the Super Nintendo port. Just don't listen to the Genesis version. Okay, so after that experience, honestly, I'm just not touching the other ones. I'm sorry. Bubsy 2, there's Bubsy on the Jaguar, and Bubsy 3D. Yeah, no, I'm not going near those. The first game is apparently the high point of the series, and that's quite the low watermark. But all of this brings me back to one question. Who asked for a remaster? I'm not so sure anybody did. Okay, there was probably a few people, but even amongst the most hardcore retro gaming enthusiasts, I don't really think more Bubsy was what people were clamoring for. Hell, there were even 2 new Bubsy games released on PS4. They came out, everybody had a laugh for a second, and we moved on with our lives like they never even happened. I think the reason we're seeing a Bubsy remaster now is best described by this exchange I found on GameFAQs. Someone asked, "Seriously, are any of these games even good?" Someone replied, "No, but it would be really funny to own any of these games." XD. Like I said, just because you can remaster something doesn't mean you should. But it turns out that doing it for the lulz is big business.
What could possibly go wrong?
I kind of alluded to this before, but Bubsy has been a big meme around the gaming community for years, you probably know. And remasters of these meme games have recently become a hot commodity. For example, Limited Run is doing the Bubsy remasters, and they're not stopping there. They're reviving Gex, too. These games certainly aren't as bad as Bubsy, but they range from being good to slightly below good. There's no masterpiece in this trilogy. Cult favorite Glover saw a port to PC back in 2022, and Pico Interactive gave it a full remaster treatment for modern consoles earlier this year. And it's really, really bad. Apparently there's graphical errors, broken physics, the frame rate is bad for some reason, just not ideal for you Glover fans. The first Goat Simulator, perhaps the most mainstream of the meme games, or it was made to intentionally be a meme at least, just got a facelift for modern consoles, and while reception has been fine, I feel like a lot of people agree it wasn't especially necessary. And hell, for as much as I'm talking about this, I'm not innocent either. Let me present to you Plumbers Don't Wear Ties Definitive Edition, a remaster of one of the worst games ever made. Now, to LRG's credit, they did add some cool goodies in this one to make it a more all-around worthwhile package. They kind of make them like a digital museum where they do interviews with internet creators and the original cast members that they could track down. It's something they've been doing more often now to add value to these games. And hey, I guess I get the appeal, at least to an extent. But it's still worth repeating. Some of these games, like this, kinda suck, especially Bubsy. We're remastering bad games here. But every time I see a game like Bubsy getting a remaster, I just think, who the hell asked for this? What are we doing here, people? These games are not good. But that's just the reality we're in right now. Pivoting aside for a little bit, these questions about our modern remasters aren't just limited to smaller publishers like Limited Run. Giving LRG some grace here, for every weird or trivial remaster they come out with, they usually have one or two to even out the scale. Stuff like Tomba and Clock Tower, those are good releases. So let me move the spotlight over to the big guys. PlayStation and Xbox. Both are guilty of releasing some downright trivial remasters. They're not doing it like LRG is doing it. They're not bringing back old duds like Pain or Grab by the Ghoulies. Instead, they insist on revisiting games that probably don't need remasters at all. These games are great in their own right, but do they really need a facelift, or could we just settle with a patch and a news blast? For example, Xbox just announced Gears of War Reloaded, a nice new coat of paint for the first Gears game that came out all the way back in 2006 on the 360 that barely worked at the time. But you might think, didn't Gears of War already get a remaster? Yeah, it did, back in 2015, Gears of War Ultimate Edition. So essentially what Microsoft is doing right now is remastering a remaster. That's just great. And from the looks of it, did they really change that much? No. They didn't even bother to release a new trailer, they just released a tweet. It certainly could have just been an update for Ultimate Edition, but, you know, Xbox obviously has their reasons for this, of course. Cold hard cash. This is the first time that Xbox is bringing Gears of War to the PS5, so it's a great excuse for them to market it up, drum up the hype, and slap a $40 price tag on it. They weren't just going to take Ultimate Edition from 10 years ago and bring it over to PS5, even though I still think that would generate a decent amount of hype. No, this is their excuse to make some bank off of it. But whatever Xbox has been doing with Gears of War is a saintly act compared to what Sony has been doing. They've been churning out questionable remasters like fucking crazy. Horizon Zero Dawn remastered, Days Gone remastered, The Last of Us 2 remastered. All of these games are less than 10 years old. They came out on the PS4. They could just update them. But a new remastered title in a reprint with a PS5 label helps them make a little bit more money. Meanwhile, you have people over here reporting issues with the Jak and Daxter ports when they came to PS4. Twisted Metal looks like it's dead in the water right now. And I think Sly Cooper just got arrested for breaking into a McDonald's play place. Sony just loves to brand some of their re-releases as remakes. Just look at Until Dawn and The Last of Us Part 1. But they aren't remakes in the same vein as something like Final Fantasy VII Remake or Resident Evil 4. Those are true evolutions, which derive from the source material and take things in a different direction and evolve them for a new generation. I personally prefer the original Resident Evil 4. It's just campy, fun, feels more like Resident Evil to me, and I do think the gameplay still holds up. It's a little clunky, but it's fine. But I did play through the new game, I enjoyed it a lot, and I appreciated the new direction they took the game in. But with these two, it's just the same game, just made over again. They call it a remake, but it's the same thing. In the case of The Last of Us, there's actually less game here because they took out the amazing multiplayer mode. And by the way, that game has a remaster, and it's fine. I guess PlayStation didn't want to pull an Xbox with The Last of Us remastered, but coincidentally, both remakes came out pretty much at the same time as PlayStation's efforts on TV and at the movies. You know what? They did that with an Uncharted collection too. You know, I kind of like that movie. I thought it was all right. Anyway, all of this brings me back to the central point that I'm trying to make here. Just because you can remaster something doesn't mean you should, but you know what they say. Money talks, baby, and that's what we're seeing more and more. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Let me know down below if you agree with what I'm saying or if you think I'm just rambling nonsense into my phone camera. And again, I support remasters wholeheartedly. I own a ton of them, including this one. But I do think it's just kind of funny what we're seeing. So many games that just make me question what we're doing here. Like, come on, guys. But again, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. And if you want to join this community that I'm starting out here, hit that subscribe button. A lot of video game discussions just like this, some game collecting stuff. It's going to be a good time. So hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.